What's going on, Washington Commanders Nation? It's your boy Rio Robinson back with the latest and greatest on the Rambling with Rio YouTube channel where we ramble about the Washington Commanders. Today is Monday, April 10th, and we're now 17 days away from the NFL draft where we can play the music and we can get excited. We can all gather around our television screens and watch as our favorite teams select the latest crop of college football talent. And we get to watch guys' dreams come true. I love the NFL draft. It's one of the biggest spectacles in sports for a reason. No other sports draft is interesting on the level that the NFL draft is. The storylines stack up like a reality show. No other sports draft period is good. The NBA draft is only exciting for like the first two picks of it. There's 3 days of just spectacle, exciting unpredictability when it comes to the NFL draft, and can't wait for it. 2 weeks and 3 days away. Washington was on the clock at pick 16 last year. We traded back. We picked up some good value in the first round. We traded back and drafted Jahan Dotson, and we moved back from 11 to 16, and that is where we sit in this year's draft with the 16th pick. And as of today, 17 days away from the draft, my thought process hasn't changed. Like, I would like us to go DB, but you got to let the board speak to you. And you cannot forget, I say this in every mock draft video, but I say it for a reason because Ron Rivera is a creature of habit and not the type of guy that we see like to make too much changes as the years go on. He's never drafted a DB in round one of the draft, so do not be surprised if it's not a DB. If I had to put money on what I think we're doing in the first round, it's going to be whatever the best offensive lineman on the board is when we get there or in a trade back. But the way that the board spoke to me at 16 was that for some reason in this specific mock draft, the 4 top corners, which was Christian Gonzalez, Joey Porter Jr., Devon Witherspoon, and my guy out of Maryland, Deonte Banks, all off the board in the first 15 picks. Also off the board, the top 3 tackles in this draft, which include Broderick Jones, Paris Johnson Jr., and debatable if you want to call him a tackle, Peter Skoronski out of Northwestern. I know he has alligator arms, so they like to say that he's going to be a guard at the next level, a guard, the Brandon Sheriff special tackle in college, guard in the NFL. But with those 7 guys off the board in the top 15 picks, this was a very good spot to trade back from because I was like, there's some guys I like here, but I'd rather get some picks out of it. And we ended up getting a call from a team that wanted to jump up for the generational tabbed talent running back, Bijan Robinson. And it is a team that's currently looking to trade their running back. At the 21 spot, the Los Angeles Chargers call us up. They said, we want to come up to pick 16 because we want Bijan Robinson. What we're going to do is we're going to give you pick 21 in the first round, and we're going to give you pick 53 in the second round. So we're giving you a second round pick. Oh, no. And they're going to give us a third rounder. They're going to give us a third rounder as well, pick 104. So we're getting a second and a third for them to move up 5 spots to draft a running back. Not sure how realistic that trade is. I know we could get one of those 2 picks. Doubt we could get both, but you never know when it comes to the NFL draft. Washington is now selecting at the 21 spot. And just to foreshadow the future of this specific mock draft, we're trading back in the second round as well with the Chicago Bears for pick 53 and 103. So we're starting this mock draft off with 2 consecutive trades. So with the 21st pick in the 2023 NFL draft, Washington selects offensive tackle Darnell Wright from Tennessee. Dog. And you're going to see a recurring theme with the picks that I make in this mock draft today. RAS, RAS, RAS. That is relative athletic scoring. It's the composite grade that they put together when it comes to your combine workout drills and your size. It puts all of your measurable traits in a pot and compares you to every player from like 1987 to now. And the first like 6 guys I draft all have off the freaking chart relative athletic scores, and that includes the guy I just took with the 21st pick, Darnell Wright, offensive tackle. He is the epitome of the phrase, got that dog in him. He's a dog. He's a mauler. He's 6'5", 335 pounds with feet like a dancer. Light on his feet, moves, puts your dick in the dirt. Will Anderson, prohibitive top 5 pick in this draft out of Alabama. You want to watch some good tape? You wouldn't even know that Will Anderson was a top 5 draftable guy when you watch his tape versus Darnell Wright. He absolutely dominated him the entire game. And Will Anderson is a rusher that relies on his power, relies on his bull rush and his power rush. And Darnell Wright was not having none of that shit. Absolute dog. The question here is, can he play left tackle? Because he is considered an elite right tackle. We signed Andrew Wiley to be a right tackle, and I think that's where we want to play him. Would Darnell Wright slide into that spot, or would Darnell Wright slide into the left tackle spot? Because he would immediately walk in as the best tackle on the team. Can he play left tackle? I guess we'll see at the next level. He definitely has the athleticism and the size to do it, and I needed an athletic left tackle at some point, man. We were spoiled. Absolutely spoiled. We went from Chris Samuels to Trent Williams to now Charles Leno, who I don't think is a terrible player, but I also don't think he's a good player. I think he's an all right player who is a great human and a pillar in the community, and that's why he holds such reverence from the fan base and the coaching staff, because Ron is such a stickler of character and culture. But let's keep it a buck. We need an upgrade at the tackle position. Darnell Wright, come on down. You are a Washington Commander, like I mentioned to you a second. Oh, and he got that dog in him, man. I seen some media guy, he snaps back at the media on Twitter. He's taking shots at guys that he feels are taking shots at him. I seen he called some draft pundit a dick eater when he was talking about him. He be taking shots, man. I like it. We need some dog in this locker room. Everybody cannot be Terry McLaurin. Everybody cannot be a humble saint. We need some dog energy in this locker room. We are getting it with Darnell Wright, our first round pick in the 2023 draft. Moving on to the second round, where we made our trade. We traded back from 47. So we traded back from 16 to 21. And we traded back from 47 to 53. And we got an extra. We're on the clock for back-to-back picks. So 53 and 54 are both coming home to our Washington Commanders. And with the 53rd pick in the NFL draft, Washington drafts cornerback DJ Turner out of Michigan, the fastest player at the 2023 NFL Combine. 4.26 speed. Desperately need that speed in the cornerback room. We don't have a guy that runs a 4.4 on the roster right now, a real 4.4. I'm not talking about a COVID 40-year 4.4. 38.5-inch vertical, but fuck all the measurables. He can play football, but the guy scored almost a perfect relative athletic score, but he has what Ron loves. He offers technique that allows positional flexibility. He can move to the inside. He can move to the outside. Shit, he could probably be moved at a safety in certain formations and alignments on defense. And he easily and immediately comes in the most athletic player on the defensive side of the ball. Ron doesn't draft corners in round 1. Ron gets his corner here as we trade back from 47 to 53, and we draft the fastest guy in the 2023 NFL draft, DJ Turner. You are a Commander. Relative athletic score. I told you it's the recurring theme of this mock draft, as we're on the clock again at 54. We are getting busy. 3 picks in the top 60. You love to see it. I love that. Take as many shots. Take as many shots on the dartboard as possible. We need a linebacker. We need a dog at linebacker. It's not coming in the first round. We have 2 second-round picks now, so why not spend that second-round pick on a dog linebacker from a program that rarely ever produces bust on the next level? Iowa Hawkeyes linebacker Jack Campbell, come on down. 9.98 on the relative athletic scoreboard. 6'4", 249 pounds. He's built like one of the old school linebackers, but he ran a 4.6 40 with a freaking 9.1 10 yards. I mean, with a 1.5 10-yard split, 38-inch vertical, 10-foot broad, 6'7" 3-cone, absolutely an athletic beast. 250 tackles and 3 interceptions over the last 2 years. Butkus Award winner. Best linebacker in the nation, best linebacker in the draft class. You're getting him here at pick 54, and you now have a linebacker room of Jack Campbell, Jamin Davis, and Cody Barton. And what was a position of weakness starts to look like a position of strength, because it looks like there's some real top-end talent and athleticism in that room now, and it's rounded out by guys like Khaleke Hudson and David Mayo and the Milo Eiflers of the world. That linebacker room is starting to come together now, which takes us to the next round of the draft. We go to the third round, the compensatory pick that we got for the guard, Brandon Sheriff, leaving to Jacksonville. And I'm dipping into the interior of the offensive line with this pick. Ohio State Buckeye. We like to draft good players from good programs, and the next program, you know it very well. Ohio State Buckeyes, Luke Weipler. Not going to go too far into detail. It's a center, and I am not an expert when it comes to breaking down his center, but he's viewed as a top 5 interior offensive lineman in this year's class. Also had a high relative athletic score. That's the trend of this draft that we're doing over here, man. We want athletes. We don't want we don't just want solid players. We want explosive guys, and I think we're going to be moving on from Chase Rouillet based on Ron and Mayhew's tone when they were talking at the owners' meetings. It sounds like we've reached the end of the road with our guy Chase Rouillet. Love the guy, but the guy's played in 10 games in the last 2 years, and that's not going to get it done. That's not going to get it done, guys. But we're moving on to the 4th round now. It's time that we add a running back to the running back core we got here. Expiring contract of Antonio Gibson. I like Brian Robinson. We need a change of pace home run hitting back here. We need a back with explosion, production, not an experiment, not someone who we need to teach the position of running back. Come on down, running back from Pittsburgh, Izzy Abanikanda. Izzy Abanikanda, absolute freaking dog. 1,900 all-purpose yards, 20 touchdowns this year. He ran a 4.3 something at his pro day. I know they put a little yeast on pro day 40, but he ran a 4.4 at the combine. Absolutely explosive. We need that. Love Brian Robinson Jr. Love Antonio Gibson's combine speed. You don't see that shit on the field. His last explosive play came in 2021 when he took that screen 80 yards versus the Buffalo Bills. We need somebody who could take it 60 to the crib. We need somebody who could turn a screen into a 70-yard touchdown. Last year, we had like 2 runs over 30 yards. Like, that's not going to cut it. Somebody on the damn roster has to be able to take one to the crib. We don't have that on the roster as we speak. Stop pulling up clips from 3 years ago and telling me Antonio Gibson is that. Another relative athletic score demon, 9.61 for Izzy Abanikanda. 5'10", 218, 4.3, 4.4 speed. The size grade, everything is elite. 9.6. Come on down. You are a Washington Commander. So far, just to recap what we've done so far, because we're going to speed round through the rest of this draft. We got Darnell Wright at 21, DJ Turner, corner out of Michigan at 53, Jack Campbell, linebacker out of Iowa, the unbustable program at 54. We went center Luke Weipler at 97 and Izzy Abanikanda at 104. Next 2 picks, I guess some people are going to consider them luxury picks. I do not. I consider them positions that we should definitely fill in this draft, and to keep the theme going of relative athletic scoring. Come on down. Oh, and Luke Weipler scored a 9.3. Every player we've drafted so far has scored at least a 9 relative athletic score. So that means they're in the 90th percentile of athletes that have tested at the combine over the last 30 years. So we're moving on to our next pick. Ryan Fowler recently put out a tweet that says there's maybe a handful of people on the damn planet that are 6'7", 250 plus pounds that can run in the mid 40s, jump out of the gym, and move like someone 100 pounds lighter than them. And we're drafting one of them with this next pick. And with the 118th pick in the draft, we are taking a boy from Old Dominion, Taylor Heineke's stomping grounds, tight end Zach Kuntz. Come on down. You are a Washington Commander, scored an absolute perfect score of 10 on his relative athletic scoreboard. He's 6'7", 255 pounds, and ran a damn 4.5 40. I don't even really need to say much after that. He can use some more polish as a blocker and as a route runner, but you know what we can do when we get Kuntz? We put him in this tight end room with Cole Turner and Amari Rodgers and I guess Hodges, and we can release Logan Thomas and we can just let all the young guys duke it out. Oh, John Bates as well. And just let the young guys duke it out. A 6'7", 250-pound dude who can jump out the gym and can catch the ball and moves naturally as an athlete. Bring that to that tight end room, man. We need it. We need it. We need one. This is one of the best tight end classes we've seen in the last decade. It would be criminal malfeasance for us to not at least put one of these motherfuckers on the roster at this point. And this next pick, this is the best player available. Should not be on the boards, but I had to take him because he was their pick. Wide receiver out of Houston at 150, Nathaniel Tank Dell, best route runner in the class. Curtis Samuel's contract is expiring. This is a slot demon. This is a guy who's going to be one of the best slot receivers in the league. He tore it up at the Senior Bowl. He led the nation in receiving yards and receiving touchdowns this year. There's no reason that Tank Dell should be on the board at 150, but if he is, the value is way too high to pass up on a blue chip talent, and you now have a wide receiver trio of, not even a trio, a quartet of Terry McLaurin, Jahan Dotson, Curtis Samuel, and Nathaniel Tank Dell. Need I say more? Pick 161. We're taking another corner. Add another corner to the roster, but this corner could actually play safety as well. He's the forgotten about corner in this class. Garrett Williams out of Syracuse led the ACC in tipped passes 2 years in a row. Absolute baller. All ACC 3 years in a row. The reason why he's on the board here at 161, he tore his ACL in October. He had a bad injury, and that's why he's going to fall down boards. But this is a dude with the versatility and the fluidity to play safety or corner. Add him to a loaded D-line room, a loaded secondary. The defense has no excuses. Jack Del Rio, you now have every piece to the pie. You now have all the cherries to the top of your perfect float. Get the defense in the top 3 to 4 units in this league because I've given you all the pieces you need to thrive. There is no more excuses. Put all of this generational defining talent to work, and the defense is ready to go. And with the final pick of my mock draft, 233, we're taking a kicker because that's what we're doing at the end of every mock draft that I do. I'm taking a fucking kicker because I think Joey Slye not only needs competition, he needs a replacement and a successor put on his roster. He needs somebody coming and push him. Chad Ryland can kick. Go watch the Maryland Pro Day. Go watch him at the Senior Bowl. Accurate as hell. Dude is booting 60-yarders coming out of college. Need I say more? He's a kicker. Don't need to go that deep into it. So let's summarize the draft class that I just put together for you. 2 trade backs. We traded back from 16 to 21, traded back from 47 to 53, and accumulated 9 picks in this mock draft. We took Darnell right tackle out of Tennessee. DJ Turner, fastest player in the draft, corner out of Michigan. Jack Campbell, best linebacker in the draft out of Iowa. Luke Weipler, center out of Ohio State. Izzy Abanikanda, running back, Pittsburgh. Zach Kuntz, tight end, ODU. Tank Dell, receiver, Houston. Garrett Williams, cornerback, Syracuse. And Chad Ryland, kicker, Maryland. This is a home run draft, probably a little bit unrealistic, and I took advantage of the draft system of the Pro Football Network simulator. Let me know what you grade this draft. I grade this shit an A. It might be an A+ because you checked off all of your needs and you got ridiculous talent and athleticism loaded onto an already talented roster. Let's go get 10 plus wins in 2023. Ron Rivera, Martin Mayhew, Eric Stokes, Marty Herney. Y'all might want to take a look at my mock draft because we're doing things over here. That's all I got for right now. Hail to the Washington Commanders. Until next time, deuces.